Fellas, let me start off by saying I am not a plumber. Not by no means. Hey fellas, PV2 Smurf here. PV2 Smurf here. PV2 Smurf here. Oh fellas, PV2 Smurf here. Can I learn how to do this on my budget instead of paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to have somebody replumb my house? Yes, I can. If that's what you tuned in for, well, I got your back.
Raindrops falling on my window, staring out at a rainbow. Whatever happened to my life? There's no pot of gold on this side. Take my hand, set me free. Lead me on or let me be. Waste my time for yourself.
So this is where I realized that the water heater manual was incorrect. I thought that the threading was a tip threading. So it would have been a male threading fitting coming out. And this probably won't apply to you. So I was going to use this kind of fitting to connect my 3/4 PEX B, but because as you can tell by looking, there's no threading sticking out of that. So it actually needs a male threading like this one. This is a reducer, but this is 3/4 and it'll go down in here. So I'm going to have to go swap these and buy the correct ones that change it from this to that. And then I should be able to plumb this thing up. But before we run to the store to go grab all that stuff, let's do what we can. Next thing I'm going to be doing is removing this hot water line that goes into here. Go ahead and cut it off so that way I can go ahead and replace that while I'm already here.
I'm not me, I'm somebody else. I'm somebody else. Somebody else. Wipe the dust up off the floor. Nobody's dancing here.
All right, now that I've returned, I have the correct ones. You can see these are male. These are male threaded, and that's what I need. So on Teflon tape and pipe dope it. So that way I don't worry about it leaking. Thread it on there, run my lines in, run my line out. It should be pretty good to go after that. So I'm going to start you another time lapse. Nobody wants to watch this little nitpick stuff, so here we go.
Just a ghost of what used to be. All that meant anything to me. Take my hand, set me free. Lead me on, or let me be. Waste my time for yourself.
All right, I got those nipples in place there. So now all I'm going to do is connect cold, hot, go and no-go gauge. Very, very important. If you don't know what that is, you need to learn before you start doing crimp fittings. No-go gauge handy, crimpers, and I'll show you one, even though it's really not that difficult to do. You have to slide this over, as you can see this fitting right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Alright, so as you can see on this fitting right here, this fitting has some barbs on it, and so you want this crimp ring to go right over the middle of them, so to go about right there. And so there's a measurement on it that you can do. I think it's an 1/8 to 1/4 inch. The way I do it is set the pipe down the side of it. which I may need to pull a little more slack over here. There we go. Set the pipe, slide this over the pipe. And I know this is probably regurgitating for most of y'all. Put that over the pipe. Then I can take and set this down beside the fitting, and then I can tell, well, it needs to go about right there. And some people go ahead and just barely put a little pinch on it so it'll stand still. But me, I don't do that. I just do that. I'm going to slide this over there, and as soon as I get it over there, I'll just crimp it on there.
Me, I'm somebody else. I'm somebody else. I'm somebody else.
Pliers go all the way together. Wait a second. Pop them loose. On these 3/4, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of opening range in order to get them open. Then on this specific gauge, yours may be different. See where it says no, and see on the bottom right where it says go and no go. Base fit slides all the way in this groove right here. That's a no go. So we're going to slide this thing in here on a 3/4, which is this one. And if we slide this on there like this, though you can't see, it doesn't go all the way around it, all the way in. So that tells me, hey, this one's good. Now if you want to slide that in all the way, slide that in, it went all the way in, it bottoms out against this bottom plate right here. That's a no-go. So that means you got to cut it loose, do it again. In our case, it seems to be a go. I'm going to do the same for the hot water side. Time lapse again.
Take my hand, set me free. Lead me on, let me be. Waste my time for yourself.
So this is my actual cold water in. It runs through the entire system. I'm actually going to take it loose right here. Now I could buy another shark bite and just cut that, shark bite it on, and then just attach this line, but I'm not going to do it that way. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shark bite elbow that's already here off and just slide this in there, and it should be good. The only thing with shark bites you have to be concerned with, make sure there's no edges around this that's going to cut it, especially on the outside, because on the inside of this is a little seal, and if that's got a perforated edge on the edge of it and you go to slide that in there, it'll cut that seal and it will leak. I know you wouldn't imagine shark bite fitting would leak, but they do. So we got to make sure that the edge of this is smoothed off. If it's smoothed off, it's good to go. Pop this loose. Now they make a tool that takes this loose. However, I'm not going to use the tool because I don't have one. I didn't want to buy one. So I'm going to try my go, no-go gauge. If I slide that right over just right, it should allow me to push this thing down on the edges just enough to get it off. Now, if that don't work, another tool, and you can look online, there's multiple things you can do. If that one doesn't work, another tool that you probably already have if you're doing some plumbing work is a crescent wrench. You can get that set on there just right, and when you do and you move it around, it'll allow you to pop that pipe off there. But any tool you got to use it, and then we'll move this off, connect our cold water line. Another thing, keeping in mind, is my cold water runs here, then runs up. So as soon as I take that right there loose, it's absolutely going to pour water out of that. I don't know how much, but it's going to pour some water out of that. Even though there's no pressure on the system, there's still water in that line right there, because that line runs up and over across the top there. So I know when I take this loose, it's going to have water in it. So be prepared for that. What am I going to do? Bucket. As soon as I take that loose, I hold that bucket under it and catch what I can. Then I'll hurry and slide that thing in that fitting. Should be good. Let's see if we can do this without getting drowned. Shall we? I ain't drowned yet, so just drain a little bit. I got the time. You got the time? I got the time. Come notice when it comes to doing certain things delicate like this. This is main supply line. It's best to not rush things like that. It's like your brakes on your vehicle. You don't ever want to rush doing them. You rush, you make a mistake, forget something, then guess what? You're down the road and you ain't got no daggone brakes. I always make turn this water off. It's just residual water in the line, as I said, so just let it drain. I got another bucket handy right here, just be safe. See if I can set my bucket down, drown and catch it.
I'm not me, I'm somebody else. Somebody else. Somebody else.
That's a whole bunch of water. Let's go through the bigger picture here. Cold water in, goes into the bottom of the mantle block, runs over, runs up the cold side, runs in from the top of the cold side into the water heater, runs from the water heater, gets hot, runs out the hot water side, runs back into the hot water side. That being said, we made all of our main connections we need. All this other stuff that's up here, this copper line, all this galvanized crap, we'll cut it out. May not cut it out on this video, but we definitely gonna cut it out. Really not a fan of the angle that's at, but all right, fellas, in the middle of editing, I realized I should go circle back and redo this and show you this. When I removed this piece here and the elbow that went for the cold water coming inside, I really didn't like that angle, as I mentioned previously. So what I ended up doing was going and just getting a straight 3/4 and crimp that in there. And there's my spacer that I'd mentioned. As you can see, by being able to do that, I was able to secure that line all the way up and over. You can also see in this video, no more of that copper line or galvanized lines that are running over here. So just wanted to just give you a quick update on that because I missed it in the video and I wanted you to be able to see it.